the United States Merchant Marine Academy. We're going to be starting a new series called Coach's Corner, where we sit down with some of the coaches that make all the magic happen inside the athletics department. I don't think there's anyone better to start off this series with the longest 10-year head coach now at the United States Merchant Marine Academy. It's Commander Sean Tedesco, the head coach for both the men's and women's swimming and diving team. Commander, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Well, we'll start with, and we'll get to everything you've experienced now over 20 plus years as a head coach here. But the last couple of years have been trying in basically every facet of life, but athletics with the 2020 season being cut a little short and then the 2021 season not existing. Just tell me how challenging it has been just to get back into the normal flow of things.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been a challenging couple of years with what I thought was arguably our best team we probably have had in our history in 2020, heading into NCAAs with a potential national championship on the line individually as well as a relay, and literally just days away got canceled. So that was heartbreaking for all of our men that were going, as well as myself. We dealt with it. We moved on to 2021, hoping that we could kind of put together some kind of dual meet season, some kind of championship, and we trained that way. But as the course of the season came along, this team dropped, that team dropped, the conferences dropped their championships, NCAAs canceled, and then we ended up canceling our season as well. Though we continued to train at I guess not necessarily a high level, but continued to train, keep the team together. But I kind of enjoyed that time in the sense of kind of brought me back to really enjoying coaching. When we're up against adversity, I kind of enjoyed trying to find a way through and trying to lead the team in certain ways. So, but this year was great to come back and kind of have another season.
And I can imagine, 20 plus years at the helm now, you thought you had seen everything, and all of a sudden a global pandemic comes along and kind of scratches that. So I find it interesting that you talk about being able to enjoy coaching again in a season where you couldn't even have, your athletes compete. So just tell me what it was like to go through that and the changes that came after in terms of your coaching philosophy or just kind of how you approach the overall aspect of the season.
Yeah, we've had different adversity over the years through different areas, but I find that it kind of changed the monotony of the same thing year after year. When you're trying to succeed, it's kind of fun and enjoyable to try to succeed overcoming different obstacles. This was definitely one of them. But through that, I learned a little bit about myself. I learned a lot about what our team needs, and we kind of, the last couple of years have tried to, including this year, tried to increase our service on the team, increase our leadership on the team from our captains, our senior leaders, and even some of our juniors starting to step up and lead our team so that we can accomplish more, do more as a program, because our culture is really important, and we're constantly working on it. And I find that our leaders are also engaged and ready to take on some more responsibility. So Coach Lopez and I have been working on that over the last couple of years, and definitely this year for sure.
And speaking of one of your leaders, David McCrane, finishing top 15 in the NCAAs in the 100-yard butterfly this past season. Now you've had plenty of top 50 or top 34 finishes. I believe it's now at 15, correct, over the last 20 years. Just tell me how nice it was after having, those crazy last couple of seasons to finish the season with that cherry on top.
Right. Yeah, David's a special athlete. Going to be one of our captains for next year. We've been fortunate to have many teams finish top 34 in the country. He had a tremendous season. He dropped a lot of time, but he also deserves it. He worked really hard all year. Actually worked really hard for 2 years. And he was able to accomplish going to NCAAs, finish in the top 30 in 2 events, and also did a lifetime best in the 100 butterfly by over a second. Just really happy for him. But next year he's got bigger goals, not only individually, but we want to take some relays with us and go as as a group as opposed to just one individual. But it was a lot of fun with him in Indianapolis this year.
You talk about someone like David who has that next season, that he has that goal. Have you noticed a change in your juniors and seniors for this season that had a couple seasons wiped out, or maybe know some of those upperclassmen that unfortunately didn't have that chance to compete kind of at the pinnacle of their athletic career?
Well, I think over the last 10, 15 years, we've had that. You know, when you have athletes achieve high levels at nationals, other people want to do that. And if without that accomplishment, we will not be as good. Because all of a sudden we have a junior, senior who goes, now our freshmen want to go. And as they get older, they go. Then our new freshmen want to go. You know, this year, for example, I can think of two of our athletes right now who are on national qualifying relays. I think they thought they could probably do it, but now that they actually made the cuts, they didn't get invited all the way, but now they want to go, right? So I'm hoping that they'll work harder in the off season. They'll go to the weight room. They'll go to the pool. You know, they'll work out when they're out at sea. And it's really kind of just builds and snowballs year to year. I believe that David McCraney is only swimming as fast now is because of Nolan Monahan, Kaylin Weaver, those athletes who were NCAA qualifiers and All-Americans already. And he wanted to be like that. So he put in the work. Now, he did the work. And I believe that our future NCAA qualifiers and All-Americans will be a reflection of David and the time that he's put in, because people are going to want to emulate that. And that's been going on for 15, 20 years, and hopefully that'll continue.
It's that little taste of success that you see from someone else. Well, you kind of alluded to it. We'll definitely get to it over these past 20-plus years. We'll take a little trip down memory lane now. And we'll start with how you got to be in this position to be the head coach in the first place.
You know, never thought I'd be here, I'll tell you. I swam University of Connecticut. Then I went to coach at Villanova University, which is another Big East school, and I loved it. I was living home near my parents, my family, my friends. I was still coaching in the Big East at a high-level program. At the time, there was Olympians, trial qualifiers, NCAA champions. So I was swimming at a high level and still in the Big East Conference, and I really enjoyed that. But when I found out about this job, the head coach at the time at Villanova, who's still the coach there, Rick Simpson, he worked at Army. And he was like, listen, you should really look into this job. It's really good opportunity for you. It's like, all right, you know, it was kind of like I wanted to stay at Villanova as an assistant. So I talked with Sue Peterson-Lubo, who was the AD and the former swim coach here, and talked to her for a little bit, came up in a few interviews, and I kind of started getting excited about it once I learned more about it. But I will be honest with you, I came here to get my head coaching experience. I thought, you know what, maybe I'll be a head coach for 3 to 5 years and kind of move back to Division I. However, you know, there's something about leading your own program and kind of seeing it develop over the years. And Sue Peterson-Lubo was a great AD and just one of my mentors that I really enjoyed working for her for all those years. And I find that at the Merchant Marine Academy, it's a different kind of school and it has a higher purpose, and that's why I've stayed all these years. That we're training leaders for, you know, the armed services, the maritime industry, and I think there's more to coaching than just athletics. That's one of the reasons why I've stayed all these years.
And, you know, you segued right into what I wanted to ask you next, because you're a commander for the Maritime Services. You mentioned this school is different in how they operate, and kind of to one looking eye, you can say, oh, you know, these athletes don't have that extra season they can go to, maybe use that NCAA waiver, but that's kind of at the very bottom of how things are different here. Just tell me what it is about this school in terms of how it's different that it makes it, you know, so special.
Well, it's unique, you know, for sure. I think anybody that's watching this that's already here knows that it's a unique place in the sense of it's very challenging in every way. And swimming and diving is no different. They're challenged in the classroom every day. They're challenged in the regimen, which is a lot. So for someone on the outside may not understand that completely, but it's very time consuming. It can be stressful. And they're on our swimming and diving team, we train at the highest level also. So they're stressed all the time in every way. But after 3 or 4 years while you're here, where you've gone out to sea, you've seen success on our program, you're starting to get into your major academically, you're starting to serve your country already in certain ways, is really a special place that way. And the reason why I joined the United States Maritime Service, and I'm very thankful for that, and I'm very proud about that, you know, a couple of years ago, was to serve my country in a way that I can, at this point in my life, and help lead the midshipmen here at the academy, and kind of lead by example type of atmosphere where wear the uniform, wear it proudly, and kind of elevate myself, our department, our team, across campus, and I'm here to help and serve the academy and the country.
And for anyone watching, this is one of my favorite parts that I do in any interview. This is when we get to make a head coach very uncomfortable, because we start talking about all their achievements over the last 20 plus seasons. I have a cheat sheet, I'll admit, just so I don't miss anything, because I had a page and a half. There are multiple pages. 25 All-Americans, 295 broken academy records. You've won the conference championship 29 times, 20 of them straight with their men's team, 5 straight with the women's team, 28 Coach of the Year, 320 broken conference meet pool records. I could keep going, but just to spare everyone, I'll stop it there. Just when you hear that, knowing that you came here, knowing you just wanted to get a little bit of head coaching experience, how does that make you feel?
It's very humbling to hear all those accomplishments out loud. If I go through some of them individually, most of that was not necessarily done by myself. I may have reaped the rewards from that. The almost 30 Coach of the Year awards, that's really our team and our coaches who have put in all the work and who have performed. And our coaching staff over all these years who have recruited and spent extra time doing things and helping run our program. So I'm thankful for them for helping us achieve those accomplishments, I guess. When I think about All-Americans and NCAA qualifiers that we've had, that makes me very happy, because that's our number one athletic goal, is to qualify for NCAAs. And we talk to recruits, we talk to our team, and that's really what we want to accomplish athletically. And to have those accomplishments and see people come here and achieve that, I'm really happy for them, and excited for them that they'll be able to leave here with an All-American plaque, or on our NCAA qualifying wall that we have down by the pool. And I think it just shows, trying to continue the success of the storied tradition of the Merchant Marine Academy swimming and diving team over all these years, even before I got here, is very nice to hear. I'm hoping that we can continue that into the future, the next 10 years. Hopefully we can achieve some of those things. We've had Olympic trial qualifiers and things, and I'm really proud of them for all their hard work. But they do all the work, and that leads to success for all of our teams now and in the future.
Even with 25 plus Coach of the Year awards, still remain humble as ever.
We're very humble.
I'll ask you an impossible question. Maybe from that list or just from the overall list, is there a favorite award of yours, or one that you were most proud of, whether it was for you or for any of your swimmers or divers?
I would say the most proud, and there's been a lot of great accomplishments from our team over the years. I think our men's team winning the 2019 Metropolitan Conference Championship rings a bell, because that was a team performance. And the last time we won that meet was in, I think, 1986. So it was 30 plus years that we have not won that. And we've been there every year for all those years. And to see our team pull that off was really exciting. And kind of a team atmosphere, so that's definitely one that hits. I would think, when Kevin Lindgren made Olympic trial cuts, that was amazing for him to make that cut. It was really exciting for our program. I believe it was the first one in our history making Olympic trial cuts. On the women's side, there's definitely many ones. I think, believe it or not, I think this year was probably the most exciting year that we've had. I think overall, it's arguably one of our best women's programs we've ever had in history. And I'm really excited for them. They broke a tremendous amount of relays, individual records, scored more points in the conference championships and so forth. And that one that really kind of sticks out are some of the ones that we're proud of over the years.
So, like we mentioned earlier, you're the longest tenured coach on the campus, 20 plus seasons under your belt. Quite literally, no one has seen as many people walk in and out of these doors at O'Hara Hall as you have. Going through everything you've learned, what is the biggest lessons you've learned, or what is the biggest lesson you learned as a head coach?
Well, definitely here. I think overall, there's a few things that you've learned over all the years, but I think here specifically is having to adapt. If you don't adapt, you cannot succeed. And I mean adapt athletically, your own personal mentality, having the team having to adapt their mentality because they're just stressed here in a lot of ways. Things go on here that you cannot predict. And you just have to constantly change and adapt how you train, when you need time off, your own mentality of, I wish I could do this, but you can't for some reason, and you have to kind of change. But actually, through those changes, I found better ways to do things also. So I thought this was kind of going to bring our team down a little bit. We actually have kind of found ways to actually elevate our team through that same adversity. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been successful over all those years. So I think new coaches that are listening, adapting at all times is a constant thing you have to do.
I think everyone has heard a coach say adapt and survive at some point in their coaching career. We mentioned it a little earlier that you are a commander for the United States Maritime Service. Just tell me how that aspect and having that experience has changed the way you approach coaching. And
right.
That probably goes into the different nature that you talked about at the school.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm really proud to be part of the United States Maritime Service. And I chose to do that to, as I mentioned, serve. I also did it for our program to try to lead by example. Something that we teach in our program every day is leading by example, especially from our juniors and seniors who have been here long enough. They understand the program and the school to elevate themselves and take ownership of themselves, the team. And this is a way for me to serve. Obviously, I serve the team every day. This is a way for me to serve the country, the maritime industry, the academy, and just try to lead them by example as well. Carry myself with a higher standard, which is another part of it is on our team. We definitely have a high standard in all areas, and I try to lead myself with a higher standard as well.
And you have a couple of other titles in the school. You're the president of the faculty forum, and you're also an assistant AD. You help out with intramurals a lot. So just tell us what other responsibilities you have, because from everything you've told us, doesn't seem like you have enough responsibilities day to day.
Definitely have a lot of responsibilities here. Some I've volunteered to do, such as the president of the faculty forum. That's actually a role that I really enjoy. It's very time consuming though, but I really enjoy doing it because I get a chance to meet with the dean of students, the superintendent, the department heads on campus, and kind of have an active role with the faculty and understanding their concerns, their ideas, and passing them along to the administration. I'm trying to make a positive difference for the faculty, and at the end of the day, the midshipmen here at the academy. And I think that's really important. It's, again, a way for me to serve here at the academy, especially someone who's been here for a long time, being able to add that service as opposed to just maybe departmental-wise, kind of getting out there and be on committees on campus, if it's Middle States committees or other committees here. I've been doing the President Faculty Forum for 2 years, and I do other things as well, SCCW coordinator and assistant AD things, but my favorite one to date is being President of the Faculty Forum.
Well, I'm glad we were able to steal you for about 20 minutes here. I won't ask you too many more questions because you probably have 16 other meetings to run to. Kind of hard to look back at all your years, and even though you have a page and a half, 2 pages, 3 pages of accomplishments, I'm sure there's more you want. What do you still want to accomplish here that you might have not been able to do so far?
Right. There's definitely a few things I'd like to see our team do. I'd like to see on the men's side, I'd like to see an individual swimming national champion, either individual or relay. We did have that capability in 2020. That was kind of taken from us. We also had the opportunity. We had about 6 or 7 second place finishes. So I'd like to see that happen. I think that'd be really exciting. I'd like to see a woman swimmer back competing, or diver, competing at the NCAA championship. We've had, I think our last woman swimmer was in the 1980s. She's also a national champion, Leslie Custer. That's a long time. We've had a lot of national qualifiers, but haven't gotten invited to swim there. I'd like to see that happen as well. So those are 2 things that I'd like to see occur, over the next, 5-10 years.
And from you personally, in terms of coaching philosophy, ways that you do things, how do you see your role moving forward? Things you might adjust in the future, or things you want to try as a coach?
Well, we're always thinking about ways to move the team in a positive direction. Our assistant coach, our diving coach, Coach Lopez, him and I have been working on it for the last couple of years of giving more ownership to the team and taking a step back from some of the day-to-day ownership. Obviously, we're training and doing all of those things, but there's a lot of leadership that goes on the pool deck, in the locker room, in the barracks, and giving our team some more responsibility regarding logistics, connecting with our people at sea, just overall leadership on the team. So we're going to kind of continue to move in that direction to give our juniors and our seniors some leadership opportunities, which is also service to the team, so that they can learn and they can grow. So that when they leave here, between our program, the regimental system here, they have a lot of leadership opportunities to learn from and grow from, so that when they go into the armed services or the maritime industry, they feel comfortable and confident in their leadership abilities. So that's one thing that we're continuing to work on. Me personally, always trying to find ways to help our team succeed. We have a team of almost 70 athletes sometimes. So that's 70 different people on how they train, how they mentally approach a sport, and just trying to find ways for each individual person to succeed. Then collectively, our team succeeding, both in the pool and out of the pool. So that's things that we're constantly working on, and it's never perfect, but we're just kind of consistently working on it. And what happens is, I feel like as soon as we get some of those things accomplished with someone, they graduate, and we kind of start over with a new freshman, and it's kind of exciting also.
Well, I think if it was perfect, it wouldn't be exciting, right?
It's true.
Coach, really appreciate you joining us. Commander Sean Tedesco, the head coach for the men's and women's squad here in the United States Merchant Marine Academy. If you've ever been inside O'Hara Hall and you've heard cheering from the pool, he's probably the man who's been involved. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.